What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode number 320 of the A2D From Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, and share the link with your friends. If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook of From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. Today's episode, number 320 of the A2D From Addict to Disciple podcast, is entitled Recovery Is Not Transactional. And I came up with this topic as I'm really digging into guys who are working their recovery or early in rehab or trying to figure out if they want to go to rehab. And they keep figuring out, what do I need to do? Almost like it's a transaction. What can I do to get what I want in return? And almost like if I just pay for this, I've got the done deal. So I looked at these concepts about transactional or transitional from sales and business standpoint, and then tried to apply them to recovery. So let's start with definitions. Transactional in business is a quick one-off exchange. Close the deal, get the sale. The transaction is not about having, a long relationship or anything. It's just boom, 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 make the transaction. So if we would apply this little concept just for an early thought about recovery, we could say recovery is not about the number of days you've been in the rehab or an outpatient treatment program. It's not you came to the end of the agreement, so you're done, you must be good to go. It's not that kind of transaction. It is more transitional. And transitional, by definition, talks about the process of moving from one state of mind or one position or one belief system to another. In sales and business, it's about building a relationship and expanding that first transaction, that first sale, into a larger, ongoing customer relationship where both the customer and the supplier are committed to each other and understand each other and grow in that understanding. So we need to ask you, as you think about this topic of transactional versus transitional, and that recovery is not transactional, I want to ask you, if you think about where you are in recovery, what's important to you now? Transition isn't about simply getting a job. Transition is not about just going to the next phase. Transition is not about how do I transition back into community. Transition is about that change in belief system, that change in values, that transformation that should be happening inside of you. So if we dig a little deeper, let's start by comparing why we think recovery is more transitional and why it's not transactional. And I want to start by saying recovery is real. It's not a luck of the draw, put your name in the hat and see who we pick out. It's not about winning the lottery. We don't leave recovery up to chance. We shouldn't be second guessing ourselves all the time, wondering, will I ever make it? And we should know that we don't just coast through it like we might if it were a game of chance. It's a long climb with many plateaus, and each plateau has awesome vistas, so we can take a pause and see how far we've come. This is a real journey, and we're really involved in it. Recovery is also not a one and done sort of situation. It is this lifelong journey. It takes place one step at a time, not just one day at a time, one step at a time, one decision at a time, one opportunity at a time, one truth versus a lie at a time. So we need to be in that journey. We need to know that even after we find our healing and we feel cured, that's not the one and done either. We need to walk the walk. We need to walk in our healing, walk in our freedom, and do the daily work. Recovery also is not a quick fix like transactions. There's no instant gratification anymore. For those of you going through the From Ashes to Destiny curriculum, you've heard me say, it's not even about when you finish the book. That's not the transaction. When you finish the book, go back and start over. You've heard me say it many times. Simply because we finish a transaction, we're not done with the process. So if you hear me, I'm saying really focus on the journey, not the destination. How do you know when you're ready? How do you know that you're in transition? You're in transformation. I think you know if you can describe the journey ahead, that you're embracing the journey, that you know what to do if there's no finish line, so to speak. There's no crowd waiting and cheering for you to break the tape at the end of a marathon. Even if the journey seems as long as a marathon, there's still no finish line. And recovery is not about supply and demand the way sales is. It's not about even need, because many of you have known you needed recovery before you reached this point in time. It is about a commitment to a process that may be harder than you hoped, may take more effort than you knew you could even give or surely weren't ready to give in the beginning. Well, what does the process look like? I think for me, it's important to know that the process involves many facets. It involves self-care right at the beginning. Are you on the journey of taking care of yourself physically, health-wise, those areas that may have been neglected in your time in addiction? Are you working on self-care mentally and emotionally? Are you meeting with a counselor to process through those things that you've been repressing or ignoring or just dealing with, where you may have just been paranoid all the time or angry all the time? And are you working on your spiritual well-being, your belief system, your core values, your sense of right and wrong? That's part of the process. And the process also involves letting go of the past. And a perfect example of letting go of the past doesn't have to be all those things we lost. It can be a challenge like, can you let go of the chaos that was part of your life for so long in addiction and say, that part is past. I actually don't want the chaos anymore, and I don't want to bring chaos into my recovery. Can you let go of the party scene, the hustle of addiction? Can you let go of those things and move into something new? And that I'm talking about a new beginning. Are you excited about a new beginning, clean and sober? Are you excited about the endless possibilities that are there? Can you see that your future is being built now and your past doesn't determine your future? You do. So what I'm really saying in this journey is, are you engaged in the process? Are you connected and committed? Are you building a lifestyle of recovery that you feel good about? Are you being able to handle the questions around anonymous in your recovery, transparent in your recovery, open in your recovery? What about your support system? Are you focusing just on accountability? Or are you really developing deep relationships there also? What are the new routines that you've started in this stage of your recovery that you want to make part of your lifestyle going forward? And part of the journey is also realizing that struggles and setbacks may come. So how will you handle those? How will you handle struggles and setbacks in your recovery, in your relationships, in your finances, in your hopes and dreams? So I guess for me, what I'm really saying is this is a rebranding of yourself in transformation, almost the way stores and restaurants rebrand themselves when things have gone stale and they're trying to make a new image. And you're doing that. You're not that old guy anymore. You're rebranding yourself and saying, this is who I am now. And it's not simply a temporary mood swing, it's a fundamental shift in your beliefs and values. And that's why I say recovery is not transactional, it is transitional. And I'd like to close with a quote by Candace Carty-Williams, a British writer, who said, "Recovery is not linear. The road to recovery is not linear. It's not straight. It's a bumpy path with lots of twists and turns." So that's the journey I'm describing in this transitional part of recovery. It is a bumpy path. It's not just a straight transaction. And there's going to be lots of twists and turns. And I hope you're on board for the journey. Thanks for listening to this episode of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can message me on the link in the app that you've listened to, or you can go to my website, www.froma2d.org, and click on the contact page. Keep listening to future podcast episodes, and as always, stay safe and stay resilient.